Welcome to Conscious Business Talks. It's Wednesday already. Can you believe it? It's the weeks, the days. I don't know about you guys, but they literally have been flying. I was having trouble thinking, what day is it? And then it hit me. Today is Wednesday already. Like, wow. Anyways, today I wanted to talk to you about something. Hang on. So yesterday I talked about, about just why we sometimes just do like ostriches do, and we don't expect change to be par for the course. We kind of get used to the way things are. We get into our routines. We come to expect certain things. We get comfortable with the way things are and what to expect with the way things are. This is now, this is what happens next, and this next, and we start to take things, even success, for granted, right? And so I kind of made a joke about it, that no ostriches here, because sometimes it just feels like we're burying our head in the sand, and we don't want to look at, even when there are little things popping up telling us that things are changing around us, we're not always present to it. Sometimes we bury the indicators. Sometimes we don't even see the indicators, and the change hits us, quote unquote, by surprise. It's not really by surprise, because really, consciously, subconsciously, unconsciously, we know things are not quite the same. We don't have this same reaction. The numbers are telling us something, and even when they're not, we know that things do not stay the same. Business cycles, that's why they're called cycles. Economic changes, marketplace changes, product changes, innovation, all of these things are always happening around us. So nothing stays the same. But because we tend to get comfortable with how things are working, and the revenue is coming in, bottom line, it's still looking okay, and even when it starts to kind of matter a little bit, we adjust a little bit to try and keep it the same, right? So it's change isn't unexpected, but we forget to expect change. And I kind of played on that yesterday. But the funny thing is, today I was thinking, okay, it's easy for me to say, okay, expect change, anticipate change, get excited about change. But the funny thing is that it's harder to let go sometimes than I'm making it sound. We know that. And why is that, though? When we know things are going to change, why is letting go such a hard thing sometimes? Why is changing things deliberately by ourselves, why is that sometimes not as normal and easy and natural for us to do? And I had to think about that. And a friend of mine sent me something, and it cracked me up. I was laughing because she made a reference to to this thing that we're too smart to fall. Like, try putting your hands around behind your back, even hold them behind your back, and then consciously try to fall. And sure enough, we won't let ourselves fall. Well, the hands will come up. We'll get them out in front of us, even when we're deliberately trying to fall, because we know we don't want to fall. It's a natural protective instinct. But I guess the funny thing with that is that sometimes there is an added layer to it as well. And that is that when the very thoughts and beliefs that are causing what we're struggling with today, if they're the same ones that helped us get through something really hard in the past, then we associate that as the strategy or the tactics that worked. And our premise then becomes that, no, this works. Why would I change that? that helps me, right? So when we have to shift our mindset and our beliefs around what was working before may not be the thing that actually continues to work as we go forward in a new direction, that comes under that we're too smart to fall. We're not letting ourselves fall because A, we're afraid it's going to hurt, and B, we're like, but wait, putting my hands up keeps me from falling. Why do you want me to keep my hands behind my back? Now, I'm not saying actually go and smack your face against the floor. What I am saying is that it doesn't serve us to hang on to things that used to work with the insistence that they are the very things that are going to continue to work as we continue to move in a new direction. Or maybe we're trying something new, and the things that So this is where I thought today I'm just going to take a few minutes and acknowledge that I'm not just talking about things in an idealistic fashion. I'm not just saying, just let go, anticipate change, be excited about it. Yes, I do believe that. I do believe that that will serve us. I do tend to get a little excited when something is shifting because I'm anticipating and kind of curious about what is going to come. But I also know that it's hard to just jump like all into something that seems really different, and there's a lot of uncertainty. There's also fear of the unknown, that I don't know how to do this. Am I going to be successful at this, right? But that's the very time when it's necessary to know what got us here may not get us to the next stage, and deliberately start to look at and bring awareness and consciousness onto the beliefs, the thoughts, the premises that we're holding around what we need to do to get us to the next level. And that's what's on offer really with the Phoenix Project, because I genuinely believe that there is an immense, huge opportunity here for everybody, for entrepreneurs who are employers, for people who are getting displaced from their jobs, to be part of something that truly inspires them again. Right? To look at this and say, wow, this is an opportunity for me to look at it, present myself in a light, and maybe reach for something that I haven't done in quite the same way before. And even if it is exactly the same thing, doing it with somebody else, I really wanted to bring to light and discuss with you today. Share your thoughts. Tell me what your thoughts are about this thing, about letting go. And is it as simple for you as it sounds? And what beliefs and thoughts or mindset do you have around things that have worked for you in the past? And share with me what emotions and feelings or thoughts come up for you as you're anticipating continuing with something different than what you have been doing for the past little while. And let me take a look at the comments to see what you're sharing. Hey, Matt. Kiyosaki was mentioning looking at the macro to make decisions. I'm understanding that better now. If you look at the macro, the change comes slower. We don't have to react all the time to lesser things, maybe. That's actually a really interesting way to look at things. I know Kiyosaki was talking, and he's associated so much with, in my opinion, like that was one of the earliest books that I remember reading, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, right? A way of looking at how we move from one quadrant to the other and which quadrant really fits us. Because I don't believe that everybody is meant to be self-employed. Some, if the shoe fits, wear it. But if it pinches, if it's really, really hard, and it's not because you're not just in your comfort zone, but because it truly doesn't inspire you to be your best in that, then don't. But I love the way Kiyosaki talks about the macro and the micro, because he's really good at looking at trends. He's also really good at looking at how the system is put together and then reaching for things that allow him to set his movements, his strategy, his planning in a way that leverages that trend, right? So sure, it allows him to move not in a reactive, but in a really well-planned, strategic manner, because he's doing it before it becomes imperative for him to do that. He's anticipating, he's always looking, like the story that I was mentioning to you, Who Moved My Cheese? The characters, Sniff and Scurry. Sniff sniffs out the changes because he's always curious about what is changing in my environment. To me, Kiyosaki actually kind of combines that sniff and scurry, the action taking, with that anticipating and curiosity about the change, kind of together, right? Because he's really good at being aware of what the trends are, looking to see whether the way things are shifting and moving, is there a way for him to take advantage of it, and then taking quick action to put himself at the front of that curve, or certainly in the early stages of that curve, so that he is not reacting all the time. In fact, I think he doesn't react really much at all, because he's gotten over the years better and better at doing this. It's a case of becoming masterful at what you do. So yeah, I definitely believe that would allow us not to have to react all the time. But the cool thing about this is that even when we do find ourselves on the tail end of it, what we do and how we do and how quickly we shift really makes a difference in where we are going to be when the dust settles, right? Because, and really, the dust doesn't just stay settled. There's always little things coming up to ruffle it up and make it go up again, right? But where we are and what our experience of that is going to be is going to depend on how fast we are at reacting to it. And even when we do catch ourselves being on the reactive side of things because we weren't anticipating it. But I hope that brings up some curiosity in you for your own self, going, where am I on that change spotting curve, and what am I going to do about it? What beliefs do I need to put more light on? What thoughts do I need to challenge? And am I ready to let go? And does that bring up some excitement in me? Because now I'm anticipating the change that it's going to bring to my life. How am I going to design this new environment for myself so that it reinvigorates me to be my creative best self? So if any of what I shared with you today, if any of this information, if any of these thoughts were inspired more thoughts in you and they are of interest to you, please make sure you like, comment, and share this video around with as many people as you can, so that we can bring more awareness to this to more and more people. The more people who have similar thoughts and know that there is a community of people that is gathering for them to exchange and share these thoughts with, the better and faster this message is going to spread. The power of social media is incredible these days in order to make the change we want in the world. Now, I don't believe there's a ton of change needed in the world. I think the world as is pretty amazing. Sometimes we have to get ourselves out of the way and letting things roll out instead of impeding them, as only humans can tend to do, right? Because nature does bring an order to things. I just would love it if we bring more consciousness into the actions that we are taking. Love having you here. Can't wait to see you. Tomorrow is our usual regular day that we started this journey with. But Thursday, 8:30 Eastern Time, 5:30 Pacific Time, 6:30 Mountain, and in Australia, that's going to be 10:30 Brisbane Time. UK, you guys do your calculations. I'll see you here tomorrow, and loved having you here.